Yo, 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 peace and blessings. Welcome back to the Burnell Washburn podcast. Sending you good vibes, peace and prosperity and blessings on blessings. Hope you're having an incredible day wherever you are in the world. Appreciate you joining us and tuning in. Shout out to all the listeners. This is the 5th episode in, I think, and it keeps growing and growing. Every single episode's getting more and more listens, and you guys are sharing it on your stories and sending me messages, and random strangers are even starting to reach out saying they're so glad they found the podcast. So I'm just thrilled on how everything's going, and I'm just loving the process, surrendering to the process, and it feels so good to just be taking action on what I love. When you finally start doing the things that have been in your mind for a long time that you've kind of been itching to do, it just feels amazing. So if you have any ideas that are surging, that are just won't leave you alone, where you keep wanting to start that YouTube channel, or you keep wanting to make music, or you keep wanting to learn how to make beats or start an online business, or whatever's just been in your head, I urge you to just jump in. Just jump out of the plane and build a parachute on the way down, or jump in and just figure it out as you go. Start small, make it easy on yourself, and just take steps. Start at the very least studying how to do it and getting ideas of what kind of ways might work for you, because it just feels so good when you finally start taking action. Messy, inspired action is the key. I think I talked about that on the first or second episode. But anyway, what I really wanted to talk about today is creating an ultra empowering morning routine. A morning routine that you're just so excited to go to bed at night because you can't wait to wake up the next morning and do this routine that just lights you up. Honestly, the first few hours of the day are my favorite part of the day. I get so excited to wake up and do all my little rituals and good habits and routines. So I wanted to talk about that and share some inspiration and some good ideas and maybe some new tools and things that you haven't tried. So if you don't have a morning routine at all, this episode is absolutely going to change your life in profound ways. So you want to listen closely. You probably want to even take notes in your phone and just okay, I'm going to implement that and make a decision now to actually follow through on some of this information. And if you do have a morning routine that's already super empowering, that's awesome, but I think you're also going to gather a few things that you might be able to add to yours. So you might want to take notes as well, because there's maybe a few things that you haven't tried that you could try and see if they work for you too. So I have a lot of good habits and things that I do basically every morning that put me on such a high frequency, and they flood into every area of my life, because how you start your day is everything. How you start your day just sets the tone for your life. So if you can build these habits and rituals to be starting your day in such a good way, then that just floods into your entire life. Next thing you know, you're having good weeks and good months and good years. And man, I cannot stress the importance of an empowering morning routine. I hope by the end of this episode, you just have all this inspiration of new things that you're going to start tomorrow, because you just realize how much doper your life can be, and how some of these little tools and mindsets and habits and techniques can actually be all the difference. This is how I overcame depression, straight up. This is how I literally changed my life around when I was at the lowest point of my life, when things were just not working out and I was super depressed. I was super just not happy with my life, knowing that I deep down was capable of so much more, but kind of feeling like I was ready to give up on everything. Creating a morning routine is what just changed everything for me. I think I talked about this a little bit on another episode, but I was basically waking up every day in a state of fight or flight, being upset because I didn't like the place I was living at. I didn't like the people I was around. I didn't like myself. I wasn't happy with who I was being. I had low self-esteem because I kept trying to make empty promises to myself, like I was going to get better. I was going to quit smoking and stop drinking so much and start working out, and eat healthier, but I was never doing any of those things. I just kept my habits, kept getting worse and worse, and I just felt like shit about myself. And I wasn't feeling the direction my life was going. And I don't want to paint like this super dark picture, but the shadows is where I found my light, you know what I'm saying? And that's like, it's going through that contrast helped me figure out what I do want. We need that contrast in life to have our preferences and have clarity on what we would prefer. Like, I had no idea what kind of like life I really wanted to live until I kind of got down in the depths and saw what kind of life I really didn't want to live. And then I was like, okay, what's the opposite of this? And I was able to craft a new life for myself, starting in my mind and starting with habits and routines that all of us have control over. I mean, some of us are oppressed and have it harder than others and things like that. But if you're 555, if you're listening to this podcast, then you at some level have the ability to change aspects of your life, and you can start with your morning to just really be the catalyst that just takes you from wherever you're at now to wherever you really would want to be. And like I said, I can't express the importance of this enough. So I hope you'll listen to this carefully and take some insights and some ideas that'll be immediately applicable that you'll be able to do tomorrow morning. So I kind of want to walk you through my routine as it stands now, talk a little bit about how it's evolved over time, and just explore some little shifts that you can make that can really make all the difference for you. So I used to wake up and immediately check my phone, maybe scroll through social media, procrastinate, hit the snooze button. So it's like the first thing I was doing was hitting the snooze button on my life. And that flooded into other areas of my life. Found out I was hitting the snooze button on a lot of things, There was a lot of things that I just felt like, okay, I can do it later. I just want to lay here and be lazy for longer. I'll do whatever I really want to do later, So I was starting off my day like that, and then I would maybe eat some unhealthy food or smoke a cigarette first thing in the morning and drink some old shitty leftover coffee from yesterday. And it was just a low vibration way to start my day. And maybe you're not that low vibe, or maybe you're even worse. But it doesn't matter where you are now. You're not a tree. You can move. If you don't like where you're at, you can change it. So what matters is what you're going to do moving forward. And it's going to take time to build a good morning routine. You're not going to just wake up tomorrow morning and have this next level amazing morning routine overnight. It's going to be little shifts that you make over time, but it's very, very, very worth it if you just make the commitment to yourself. You know what? After listening to this episode from Burnell, I'm going to wake up tomorrow and start creating an empowering routine. And, even if it takes me 5 or 10 years, I'm going to just keep getting a better and better morning routine. It's not about having all these changes at once. It's just about committing ourselves to that constant improvement. Because if we're doing a little bit better than we were doing yesterday, we feel great about ourselves. We don't have to have these quantum jumps every day to just feel like next level about ourselves. Like, you can feel amazing just by making a small little shift. So start small to win big, like I talked about in one of the other episodes. But I'll take you through a few things that I don't do anymore that really help me out. Like, number one, I do not sleep next to my phone. So I'm not tempted to just wake up and look through social media or see texts or be influenced by the outside world in any way, good or bad. Luckily I have a lot of supporters and people that love me, so chances are if I check my social media, it's probably just people showing me love and saying thank you for whatever content I dropped last night. But either way, I'm not trying to be influenced by the outside world first thing in the morning, where my subconscious is most programmable. The most programmable our subconscious mind is right before we fall asleep and right when we wake up. That's the time when we're still kind of half in the subconscious, and it's able to be taken on the most information and input. So what you do right before bed and what you do right when you wake up is some of the most important. Those are the most important, like 2 minutes or little short periods of your entire life. Like, I think the last thought you think before you fall asleep and the first thought you think when you wake up is like probably the most important thoughts you think of the whole day. Because 90% of our thoughts are autopilot, 90% is subconscious, and 90% of our thoughts are just the same recycled thoughts we had yesterday. So we have to reprogram ourselves, and the easiest time to do that is right when we wake up and right when we fall asleep. So an empowering, amazing morning routine actually starts the night before. And it starts before you get all groggy and, you start to get like losing your energy and your focus for the day. Because that's when you're more likely to make like lower vibe, lower self decisions when you don't have as much energy. So for me, I start my morning routine at like 8 o'clock the night before. My 8:24 alarm goes off, and it's like, what's one good thing that you could do that you'd feel good about tomorrow? And that's a little prompt I have on my phone. And I don't even know why I'm wearing headphones right now, and they're not even plugged in. Silly Bernie. But I set myself up the night before by picking out my clothes for the next day, by making sure my house is tidied up and clean so I can just wake up to a clean house and I don't have to wake up to mess and clutter and chaos, because that'll kind of often translate to like chaos and clutter in my mind. So I have like some little habits before bed of just like brushing my teeth, picking out my clothes, cleaning up my house, setting up the tea kettle for the morning, and getting like whatever I'm going to need in the morning ready. Like every morning I listen to sound healing, like different sound baths or meditation music and bird sounds. And so I play 3 different YouTube videos at once on my laptop. And I open those videos the night before and just pause them. So when I wake up in the morning, I don't have to like try to do shit on my computer. I can just like open it up, press spacebar, and like all these bird sounds are playing, and the sound bath is playing, and the Reiki is playing. So like that's one thing I like to do. I usually light a candle when I wake up. So I kind of get these things all ready, so when I'm like half asleep in the morning, I can like jump out of bed and do these things with ease. It's all kind of laid out for me, rather than waking up groggy and stumbling around and stubbing my toe and dropping something. And like that can be like how you start your day. Can kind of like, we've all heard that analogy, you stub your toe in the morning and then you get pissed off and then you spill your coffee on yourself and then you get in a car accident on the way to work because you just like start off on this messy vibe. So if you get ready the night before, you can avoid a lot of that struggle and that conflict and make things a little smoother for yourself. So the next thing, after I unplug, I turn my phone on Do Not Disturb mode all the time. And then right before I go to bed, like usually an hour before I go to bed, I turn it completely off. Or it's like in airplane mode, and I plug it in the other room. I don't sleep with any electronics at all in my room. I don't have a TV in there. I don't have, we literally have a TV in the closet. We usually watch movies on my computer, but, or we go to the movie theater. But if I really want to watch a movie, I can pull the TV out of the closet. It takes 2 minutes, I don't have any devices or electronics plugged in my room. If you're fortunate enough to have, and I still live in a one bedroom, but it's luckily not a studio, so I keep my phone plugged in the bathroom, and it just helps. Because those electromagnetic frequencies and all that shit fucks up our sleep, fucks up our melatonin production, and like I said, it makes it so much more likely to wake up and just be tempted to check out your device, and it might be your autopilot habit. And so it might take you a while to remember, and you might not be perfect. You might do it for 3 nights of like plugging your phone in the other room, and then the 4th night you fuck up and you fall asleep with your phone in your hand again. It's okay. You just got to keep trying and keep acknowledging it and acknowledging where you would like to be and just making that little shift. Being conscious, setting the attention, and then being aware and observing your behavior and trying to constantly improving and being committed to constantly improving, because you have a huge reason of why you want to improve. The real reason, I guess I didn't really talk about why a morning routine is so important, and one of the biggest reasons is because, like, at least for me, I started studying all these people that were living the lives that I wanted to live. The people that were traveling the world, that were making a huge impact, that had vibrant health, that had the six-pack abs and lived in nice houses and were spending time on the beach and were running businesses that were aligned with their heart and their soul's mission and their soul purpose, and they were helping and inspiring and uplifting all these people, or they were making amazing music, or, whatever it was. Best-selling authors, athletes, Olympic, people that were living like awesome lifestyles that I looked up to and aspired to be similar to. I started studying all these people, and they all talked about their morning routines. Every book I read, every podcast I listened to, every person I really started studying, every entrepreneur that was killing it, they had some version of a morning routine that made them feel empowered and put them on the right frequency for the day. And there's different levels. Some people have like just a quick 15-minute routine. Some people have a super extensive 3-4 hour routine. Like me. I created my life where I have a super long morning routine, and I'm blessed to be able to do that on most occasions, and it feels good. I end up, since I started this 3 to 4 hour morning routine, I've get 1,000 times more productive. I'll do way more in a day than I ever used to when I woke up and tried to immediately start working. And that's just me. And I do the most important stuff early, and the most important stuff is the mindset shit. Is the setting the intentions, the exercising, the meditating, the gratitude journal, all the things that I'm going to talk about. That is the most important thing in my life, because it's my life. It just is, so I do the most important thing first. But everyone that I studied had some version of doing the most important thing first, and feeding their mind, feeding their body, and meditating, or just getting on the right frequency, some gratitude practice or a yoga practice. So I started studying, okay, all these people that I look up to are doing this awesome morning routine and it's working for them. I would be an absolute fool to just keep living life how I'm living and not try the things that these people are saying. That would be a huge egotistical thing to do, to think that, okay, the people that are getting the results I want are saying to do this, but I'm just going to keep doing it my way because I think I know better. And obviously you got to listen to your own intuition, but, it's 111. But if things are working for other people, you got to model their behavior. I'm a big fan of modeling behavior and at least trying it, and not everyone's behavior is going to work the exact way for you, but if you model them, you can at least get closer and have more clarity on what will work for you. So I tried everyone's morning routines and figured out what I liked and didn't like, and tweaked them in my own ways to suit my own personality. But man, when I started this morning routine, everything got better, and it started small and it got better. It just started from waking up being pissed off to okay, the first hour of my day is going to be for me. Like Tony Robbins calls it his power hour. So I decided to adopt my own version of a power hour, where I told my roommate, I told baby's mama, who I was living with at the time, hey, I need this first hour of myself, or first hour of the day to myself, or else I'm basically just not going to be as good of a dad or a roommate or a friend or a partner or anything like that. I just need this, okay? You know what I mean? I was depressed. I was down. I just admitted it was self-care. I needed that. So, and they all respected that, thankfully, because I kind of didn't ask permission. I just told them this is what I'm doing and this is important to me. But I took this power hour, which included waking up, moving my body, smiling, doing jumping jacks, doing a quick workout routine, some push-ups, some sit-ups, some, any type of little quick exercise. Then I would feed my mind while I was taking a bath or a shower. I would feed my mind with inspiring YouTube videos and interviews with successful people that I wanted to be like, and audiobooks and things like that just got me thinking different, helped me develop new neural pathways, helped me stop thinking the same things I was thinking yesterday, helped me stop being so impacted by just the people around me and start being impacted by the most successful, most empowered, amazing people in the world. So that really changed everything for me as I just started feeding my mind, moving my body, and taking the first hour to just get myself right. That is so important. And after a while of having this morning routine, it just kept improving, and my habits kept getting better and better, and I kept adding new things and changing things and taking things in and out, and over the last 4 years, my morning routine just keeps evolving. So this is about like 4 years ago that I started really being committed and serious about having like a dope morning routine, and everything has changed in my life. I'm living the dream now. I love my life so much now. I'm just so grateful to be alive. I'm so stoked to get out of bed in the morning. I'm so stoked to go to bed at night because I can't wait. I can't wait to wake up and do my morning routine. It's my favorite part of the day. And my morning routine is turning into my whole life. It's like, yeah, my morning routine almost doesn't even stop now. It just stays high vibe for the rest of the day. And I go to bed and it turns into a bed routine. It's amazing. So it's wonderful life that I'm living now. And I just feel so compelled. Like it's my duty to share this information with as many people as possible and share these perspectives with people because it can be everything. It can help you out so much. And now I just want to walk you through a little bit of what my morning routine is now so you can get some inspiration of what you might be able to add to yours. So like I said, it starts the night before, picking up my clothes and getting my house situated and just kind of getting ready for the morning. And making sure I'm going to bed at a good time so I can sleep good, because sleep is the cousin of an amazing life. For real, like sleep is so important to our health and our mindset and everything. So you want to set yourself up to go to bed nice so you can wake up, because if you're waking up groggy, underslept, haven't had quality sleep, and you're just not prioritizing sleep as much as you should be, then all of these morning routine hacks are going to be a lot harder for you. You're not going to feel like doing them when you're sleep deprived. So making sleep a priority is crucial. So you want to set yourself up to sleep really well and get as much sleep as you need. I do not use an alarm clock. I use circadian rhythm to have an internal alarm clock that wakes me up right around the same time every day. And you can set yourself up to do that pretty easily. It's just, you can train your body real easy. And I'll talk about a few of the things, such as like morning AM sun exposure and stuff. Like regulate your melatonin production and blocking the blue light rays from electronics at night. But you want to sleep, so you go to bed and you sleep super well, and then as soon as I wake up, the second I realize that I'm awake, I just call all my energy back from dreamland and cosmos or wherever, call it back into my body. I just mentally say I'm calling all my energy back, and I just visualize it coming back to me. And then I burst out of bed within 5 seconds. I don't procrastinate. If I realize I'm awake, even if I feel tired, I promise you, you're going to feel more tired when you lay there. But if you jump out of bed and you start building this habit of just bursting out of bed, and like every once in a while, you might need some more sleep. You might actually need to go back to bed. But for the most part, I jump out of bed and I just burst out of bed. So excited. I've like tricked my body into just jumping out of bed, and the first thing I say is, yes, oh my God, I'm alive. Yes, this is the best day of my life. I say this is the best day of my life every day, right when I wake up. I jump out of bed, immediately do what I call incantations, which are positive affirmations while you're moving your body and smiling like a fool in the most excited, blissed out state ever. And I'm jumping around my room. Thank you for this amazing day. It's beautiful today. I'm so grateful to be alive. Yes, this is the best day of my life. I feel amazing today. I'm stoked on life. I'm healthy. I'm happy. I'm handsome. Yes, I love my life. This is going to be the best day ever. And I just exaggerate all these emotions and I flood my body with these happy chemicals and endorphins and good vibes. And like, I'm not saying to pretend everything's sunshine and rainbows and, not expose your real emotions. I'm huge on contrast, allowing yourself to feel how you feel. I'm huge on like using the darkness and using the pain and suffering of life to grow and expand. But waking up and just tricking your whole nervous system into feeling amazing is a wonderful way to have amazing blissed out days that repeat over and over again, and they just keep getting better. So I highly recommend trying it out. And yes, every once in a while you're still going to wake up feeling like you're on the wrong side of the bed, even when you try to do that. And that's okay, just honor that. It happened to me for the first time just the other day in Hawaii, of all places. I woke up in my dream vacation and I woke up on the wrong side of the bed, and a lot of it was because I just was in a new environment. I got woken up, I was like way sleep deprived because I didn't sleep much the night before, and it was like I wasn't expecting it, and it was a weird situation. And I just told myself, it's okay. It's okay to wake up on the wrong side of the bed. I'm just not going to carry this mood all day. So I just expressed it and shook it off and acknowledged it and honored it and moved on. Didn't let it control me, but I didn't pretend it didn't exist. Like I was like, man, I should be all sunshine and rainbows right now, but I'm kind of just pissed off for some reason. And I know it's just my ego being stupid or whatever, but hey, this is how I feel, and I'm going to honor that. And I'm going to actually just not let this feeling control me because I want to have a great day, and then I moved right past it. But 99% of the time, I'm just jumping out of the bed, and I feel so stoked, and I do that, and then it really does make my day amazing. And then, so the first thing I do after I'm doing that, as I'm doing that, is I make my bed. Successful people make their beds. It's how you do one thing is how you do all things. So making your bed starts you on a high frequency of someone who's productive, someone who's not lazy, someone who doesn't procrastinate, someone who has their shit together, someone who takes immediate action to set themselves up, who's you're almost kind of doing a service for your future self / your own well-being, It's like you're appreciating your bed. And I say thank you for this bed, and thank you for these blankets, and thank you for these pillows, and I'm so grateful that I had a good night's sleep. And it's a good way, it's like a mini little gratitude practice of just appreciating the bed that you slept on, or the blanket that you had, or whatever. Because for years I just slept on the floor with just like a blanket, and I would roll up my yoga mat, my blanket, and say thank you for that, and thank you that I have a house to sleep in. But you clean up your bed situation, and it kind of just makes you feel like you have your shit together, and it puts you on this kind of momentum winning streak where you want to continue to do more good, positive, higher self things. And then when you come back at the end of the day, no matter how stressful your day is, you get to go to bed in a nicely made bed that just feels nicer to crawl into. It just feels like a little bit refresher. It's like you cleared out the sleep vibes from the night before, and now it's like it's refreshed and ready to go, so you can get another nice, refreshing, recharging, rejuvenating night of sleep. So make your bed first thing in the morning, if you're not already. And then the next thing I do is I kind of do some woo-woo stuff, blessing my house with crystals. I light a candle and set an intention for the day. And then I write a nice note for someone that I'm going to go leave on someone's car. It's just like an anonymous note from the universe, sending them good vibes and blessing them, and just hopefully shifting their perspective. And I leave them on complete strangers' cars, and I do it all ninja-like so they don't see me. So I write that note. I get my, tea and coffee ready to go because I'm going to have that in a little bit, but I don't drink that right away. I wait at least 45 minutes to have any caffeine. Wait until I've had my I kind of like use delayed gratification because I want the caffeine right away, but I make myself do a couple high vibe things first. So I write that note. I might turn on my diffuser with some essential oils if I've got them. Maybe water my plants and give them a little kiss and say hi to some of my house plants and just send them some good energy. I just bless my entire home with good energy and say thank you for this place to live. I get dressed, I put on my workout clothes that I've already picked out the night before. Um, and then I step outside within usually and I put on my sound healing stuff, like I said, which I already have pulled up on YouTube. So then I step outside and I get that AM sun exposure, which is so important for melatonin production, vitamin D. Like, it's just so good for your health to get some type of sun exposure within 30 minutes of waking up is amazing for all levels. You're going to sleep better, you're going to feel better, you're going to have more energy throughout the day, you're going to have better mood, just more patience, more good vibes all around. So get yourself some sun exposure, and like, obviously, if the sun isn't shining that day, then it's okay. You can't do it every day. Can't always control when the sun's going to be out, and that's why I just am so grateful when it is shining, when I get that sun exposure. Makes my day just like next level. And then I go on a quick walk where I do a loving kindness meditation, and I just bless all the cars that are passing me. It's about a little over a half mile each way to go walk to this little park by my house, and there's a river by it, and sometimes I'll dip my feet in the river and do my grounding there. But right now it's winter time, and it's like super icy to get down to the river, and I've fallen a few times, so I'm not really going to the river too much, even though I like the cold rivers in the winter. But lately I've been going to underneath this big pine tree. First I leave the nice note on someone's car. So as I'm on my walk, I pick up any trash I see, because I can't bring myself to like notice trash on the ground and not pick it up. And I'm going to be walking towards the dumpster anyway, so like, might as well pick up some trash and do it's like a little act of service that makes me feel like I'm serving the world and not just only serving myself. And kind of I'm being a blessing to my community, and I'm being the change that I wish to see in the world type thing. So, and I'm just taking pride and showing gratitude for this planet Earth. And I'm not judging the people who littered or threw it there. I'm just being grateful I'm grateful when there's trash, that I have an opportunity to pick it up and serve the planet. You know what I mean? Obviously, it'd be ideal if there was never any trash littered, but hey, since we live in a world that is, it's like, it's like, hey, this is an easy opportunity for me to be a blessing and me to help out, and I'm grateful for that. So I do that. I leave a nice note on someone's car, and then sometimes I leave it in like people's mailboxes and stuff, but I've gotten like people being all suspicious and weird when I'm walking up on their properties and shit before, so I'm kind of do it real quick and low key is in the parking lot before anyone sees me. And then what I do is I go over to this big pine tree that usually keeps the ground dry underneath it, and I take my shoes and socks off, and I barefoot grounding. So within 30 minutes of waking up, I've already blessed my house. So when I come back home, I've got essential oils bumping and candles lit and things ready to go, and like soothing meditation music playing and Reiki playing, and my house is just vibey as shit by the time I come back. And then I've already done a couple acts of service by picking up some trash and leaving a nice note on someone's car, and I've already been kind of a blessing to this world. And I've already been super grateful for, sleep and just this new day that I'm blessed with. And then I go under this pine tree, I do my barefoot grounding and EFT tapping. EFT tapping is called the emotional freedom technique. I'll probably talk about it more in a future episode. I believe I have a couple YouTube videos on it, if I'm not mistaken, but I know I've talked about it on Instagram a few times too, but it's basically I'm tapping positive affirmations into meridians in my body, which are energy points, just like some of the same points they use for acupuncture and acupressure. And a cellular memory is like so much more powerful than our like other memory. So, other memory, that sounds so smart. But anyway, the cellular memory is bomb. So I tap in positive affirmations into my cellular memory, and so I do that under this pine tree while I'm barefoot, grounding myself, preferably in the sun if it's shining. And then right after I do the EFT tapping, it's like I'm next level. Superhuman strength. I can do 100 times more pull-ups than I normally can. I can jump rope like a boss. Like, it's crazy. That's why some Olympic athletes I'm like Olympic athletes do that before they go down a gold medal run. You know what I'm saying? So try out some EFT tapping. Look it up. I'll talk about it more on another episode. But I do that, and then do some jump rope and walk home. And sometimes I throw a penny in the river as like a little wishing well, and I just wish some good vibes to the neighborhood and the community. Send off some more love and kindness to the cars. Then I come back, and I know a lot of this stuff is woo-woo, but if you don't like woo-woo stuff, you probably won't be too into this podcast as it progresses, because it's bound to get even more woo-woo. But I'm also going to get more scientific and more knowledge-based at the same time, so I'll get the best of both worlds on this podcast. Then I come home, and I've got my tea and my homemade cold brew coffee ready to go. I only drink cold brew coffee because it's 70% less acidic than regular hot brewed coffee, and you can still drink it hot. You can mix it with hot water if you want, but it's ultra cheap. I make like a week's worth of amazing organic fair trade cold brew coffee for $2.50 a week. You know what I mean? Sometimes it lasts me even longer than that because I drink like half a mug full per day. But anyway, I grab my coffee and my tea. I like to drink coffee and tea. I know that's a little ridiculous, a little bit excessive, but there's health benefits to both. I love the antioxidants and the polyphenols, and I only drink, organic, fair trade, awesome, high quality shit. Shout out to Numi Tea. I'm trying to get them as one of the sponsors on this show because I just love supporting them. It's like a little bit more expensive than Yogi Tea or some of these other brands, but I buy it because like they use their money in good ways to help the farmers' children and pay them extra so they thrive, and like use the highest quality ingredients and methods and everything. So like, and they give back and donate so much. So I'm like proud to support Numi Tea, and hopefully they'll end up sponsoring your boy someday soon. That would be super ill. But I sit down and drink my tea and coffee while I do my gratitude journal and my affirmations. And I usually sit down for like 30 minutes to an hour because sometimes I do some scripting too. And this is a powerful time. This is one of the most important parts of my morning routine because I'm not just intellectually writing down, I'm grateful for my house, I'm grateful for my clothes, I'm grateful for my health. Like, I'm emotionally feeling it on a deep level, and I'm resonating and embodying the frequency of appreciation, and I'm feeling it so much. And I'm training my body and my mind and my heart and my nervous system and my soul and spirit and everything just on so many levels to just really be focused on all the blessings that I have, and I sneak little things that I don't yet have into my gratitude journal and into my affirmations, and everything I affirm in my affirmations and write down every day becomes my reality to the fullest 1,000,000%. It's the truth. Like, whatever I say in this journal comes to be. So I recommend doing at least some type of gratitude practice and journaling and scripting in the mornings. Like, you don't have to do it every single morning if you don't want to, but I highly recommend doing it so you don't fall off. And when you're building new habits, you do want to do it every morning for at least long enough to where it becomes like a super habit. After you've been doing it for a couple years, you could take a day off if you really need to, but it feels so good you never even want to. I feel so high vibration and next level when sometimes I just want to jump out of my chair. Maybe it's the coffee and the tea that I'm drinking, and yeah, that's probably a little bit of it because that shit puts me in such a good mood. And it's like, man, I'm just winning life just by chilling here, sipping my coffee and feeling how blessed I've already been. I don't even need anything else at this point. I'm so grateful. And it's such an empowering way to start your day. Mind you, I'm like an hour and a half into my day by this point, and I'm already just feeling so fucking stoked on life that I'm on the right frequency to go now be creative and productive and, all that stuff, and provide real value to the world. but notice I'm really taking care of myself first, and I'm also blessing others at the same time. So self-care is an act of service to all, and I'm usually really inspired to share this positive energy as I get on such a high vibe that I want to share it on Instagram stories. So that's when I'll end up pulling up my phone for the first time today, and then I'll turn on some super inspiring content while I'm kind of finishing up my gratitude journal and all that. I feed my mind with just these people that are like living the dopest lives ever, that are sharing new perspectives, helping me create new neural pathways, making me think about things that I maybe didn't know, or just reminding me about the dope things that I already knew that I may have lost perspective on in that moment. So I feed my mind every day, no matter what, and it feels amazing. I learn so much. I heal so much. I get these new inspirations and empowering ideas to serve the world. Like, man, I'm so grateful for YouTube and for podcasts enabling me to feed my mind like that every day. It's such a blessing. And then after that, I'm feeling so jazzed up from the caffeine and from the mind food. I go straight into a workout. And I work out at least 5 or 6 days a week. On the days that I don't work out, I at least still move my body by walking or like dancing a little bit, or just kind of moving my body and going on a hike, or, something. But it's important to have the rest and recovery days too. So I crush a workout. I have so much fun dancing and listening to awesome music and pushing my body. And some days I'm going harder than others. Some days I'm like super hard training. Other days it's just like a quick move my body session and get my blood flowing. But then right after I'm done with the workout, I jump into an ice cold shower. No hesitation, no procrastination. In fact, the second I feel myself hesitating or procrastinating, I force myself, it's time to jump in right now, because that's the whole point of it. I'm going to probably do an entire episode on the benefits of cold showers, so I don't want to get into it in too much depth right now. But it has profound health benefits, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. Cold showers are just next level, so I'll talk about that probably on one of the next episodes. And then right after that, it's time to meditate. And in the summertime, I usually just meditate out in the sunshine in the driveway, on my yoga mat. And in the wintertime, it's not usually sunny and it's cold outside, so I meditate in the bathtub. And I like to meditate with some bath salts and some candles and some crystals around me, and maybe some flower petals in the bath, like just real luxury self-care. And just after beating my body up with the kettlebells and whatnot, I just treat myself like a fucking king, and just give myself that luxury bath while I meditate. And this meditation practice is where my entire life changes. This is where I become the observer. I stop becoming controlled by my thoughts. I start tapping into next level visualizations. I meet my future self. I tap into my intuition. I get inspired on creative ideas. I get business ideas. I get motivated. I heal my body. I heal physical pain. I heal emotional trauma. I take my whole mindset to a whole nother level. This is the most important thing. If I had to cut my morning routine down to 30 minutes for some reason, which I would probably never allow myself to design a life where I had to do that. But if I only could do one thing, this would be it, the meditation part. I could get my exercise in by just walking and living my life. I could go without doing a lot of these extra things, but the meditation is where I benefit so much. So again, meditation is a whole nother episode, and I don't want to get into too much depth on that because there's so much value I can provide on that topic alone. So I'll just say for now that meditation is the biggest upgrade I have ever made in my life, and the best thing I have ever done for myself. And I know you can sense the realness in my voice as I say that, because it's the truth, and the truth resonates on the realest level. But meditation's easier said than done, and it's like the easiest, hardest thing in the world. So we'll talk about that in a lot more depth on a future episode. I'll probably do like a whole hour where I tell you everything I know there about meditation. But after I'm done meditating, I am so inspired. I jump out of that meditation bath or out of that sunshine. And in the summer, sometimes I do the cold shower after the meditation, and I switch the order around a little bit because I'm going to get all sweaty in the sun. So it makes more sense to do the cold shower after that. But it depends, my morning routine switches up every so often. So we'll talk about that in a second. But I jump out of that meditation bath feeling so inspired, so stoked on life, so clear on my vision and my purpose, and so crystal clear on what my intention is for that day, that I just can't help but take massive, inspired, aligned action towards my goals and dreams. I see these visions of my future self and who I'm really meant to be and who I really can be. And I ask, what is that version of myself doing today? What do I need to do today to become that person? What is that version of reality like? What do I embody? How do I talk? How do I stand? How do I breathe? How do I dress? And every decision I make is based on this, embodying this version of my ideal self. And I jump out of that just feeling so clear on who that ideal self is, that it's really easy for me to take action. And so I usually jump out, I get dressed, and I immediately record YouTube videos, record podcasts, make songs, map out business ideas, do the most important creative work that I have. Usually the more like technical, less fun, more tedious kind of work I'll do a little bit later in the day. But the creative, inspired work that's a little bit more fun, like such as maybe the music or the podcast or things that kind of really need to come from a heart space rather than a head space, I like to do that right after I get out of the meditation, and I just crush through that. And notice I haven't talked anything about eating breakfast yet. The only thing I've had is that black coffee with nothing added to it and the tea, which is 0 calories. So at this point, I'm done with my most important thing, and it's usually 2 or 3 p.m., sometimes later, depending on how amazing the creative work is, or if I ended up going out in nature and I just lose track of time and I'm vibing out there. And then it'll be 2, 3, maybe 4 p.m. and I'll decide, okay, it's time to have breakfast. It's time to break my fast. And I break my fast with ultra high vibe, organic, whole foods from the earth that are unprocessed, as much as possible. And that's how I start my day. So that's kind of my whole morning routine, and I know that kind of bleeds into the afternoon at this point, but that's literally what I've done, all these exact things today, and that's what I do every day. And the more consistent I get with these habits, the better my life becomes. And when these habits start to become redundant or less effective, I up-level them, I shift them. So I'd say about every 3 months, I'm adding something new or taking something out or shifting something. Some things that'll never change is a gratitude practice and some form of exercise. But who knows, maybe certain things will change. Like maybe I won't be making my bed in the future because I'll have a house cleaner or something. I don't know, maybe, or maybe I won't be doing EFT tapping anymore because I'll find something way doper than that works even better for me. So who knows? My point is that it'll keep up-leveling and changing as my knowledge grows, as technology comes out, as my own personality expands, it evolves. And if things aren't working for me, or if I'm not feeling my life, that's one of the first things I start questioning my morning routine of how can I improve this? How can I step my game up? I don't know if you guys can tell. I get all out of breath when I'm talking because I'm so excited. I need to just learn how to breathe and relax on these podcasts. I don't need to talk so fast. But it's just because I'm pumped on sharing this information. And I'm hungry and I'm delaying gratification. I don't allow myself to usually break my fast until I've done some of the most important things that day and I feel fulfilled and I feel on top of my game, and it's I often get things better. It's get things done better. It's just like a lion can hunt a lot better when it's fasted. It has more energy, it's lighter, it has more, your fat is turning into ketones and releasing energy into your cells based on like stored fat and things like that. So you have more energy, and it's how our body's designed to actually function better on like a physical level and a mental level when we're fasted. And so I believe that I know that I'm more likely to get important things done when I'm fasting, because when I'm in rest and digest mode, it's like I'm more apt to just wanting to chill. And I can be productive either way because I'm so hungry, and I have such a big reason why I'm doing this, and such a huge inspiration of why I want to share this love in this world and do the things that I do with my music and my podcast and my Instagram and my YouTube and my coaching business and my online courses and all the things that I do. They come from such an inspired place. I'll take action on them either way. But I've been 1,000 times more productive since I started intermittent fasting. And that's kind of like a part of my morning routine too, is I just crush everything that I need to crush, and then I eat intermittent fast, and when I finally break it with some high vibe foods, I get another burst of energy, and I want to get even more stuff done, and then I'll transfer into I'll listen to some nice inspiring podcasts while I'm breaking my fast, and then I'll go into productive mode again and get a lot of the business stuff done and a lot of the technical stuff done. So it's a beautiful life that I'm living, and I'm so grateful for it. And it's just mind-blowing how much better it's gotten in the last 4 or 5 years since I've cultivated an empowering routine that continues to improve. It's like I said earlier, it's the best thing I've ever done for myself. I used to just wake up and be reactive, whatever was going on around me. And it's some days I'd wake up and be stoked on life, and then other days I'd wake up being pissed off, and I was starting to be pissed off a lot more often than I wanted to be. And I don't care who you are, no matter how good your morning routine is, you're still going to have some off days. And that's an important part of life, and you got to embrace that, and you got to appreciate that contrast, because that gives us clarity. It's I love having an off day every once in a while. For me, they might happen once or twice a month at the rate I'm at now, where I kind of just feel off for some reason. And it's actually maybe once a month probably. Sometimes even less than that, because it's been a while. But I'll have these days where I feel off, and it makes it so much better the next day. There's some days where I'm trying to write my gratitude journal, and I'm just kind of pissed off for some reason. I'm writing a whole page of things I'm grateful for, but I'm not emotionally feeling the gratitude and the appreciation on a deep level. I'm just feeling a bit off or whatever, and it's okay. Sometimes it's a lack of nutrients or a lack of sleep or weird thoughts or weird dreams or whatever. It's just, I embrace that too. And I don't expect myself to be perfect, and I don't beat myself up. I just expect myself to hey, I'm a human being that wants to constantly grow and expand and give, and that's how I'm fulfilled. I get fulfilled from growing and progressing, and as long as I feel like I'm trying to do better for the majority of the time, I feel pretty damn good about myself. So my life has gotten better on all sorts of levels since I've created this ultra empowering morning routine, and I love how I'm just continuously expanding it. And I wanted to share some of the things that I do with you guys, and I'm interested to hear some of your guys's. So I'd love if you guys would respond to me on social media and maybe take a screenshot of this episode and post it on your Instagram story so I can repost it on mine. It's a genius way to market podcasts that a lot of my favorite podcasts do, and it works so well, because not only does it help us connect on a real level, because that's I just saw 888. I don't see that number that often. That means abundance is coming, prosperity's coming, blessings. But the real reason I'm doing this podcast is to grow a tribe of people that think similar to me, that I can connect with and thrive with and help, and serve. I love serving. It makes me feel so good. I love being able to share knowledge and wisdom and uplift and empower, and just let my personality be a blessing to others, and let my words help uplift and help people, So I'm so grateful when you guys share it on your story or anything like that, because it helps me connect with you, and it helps me connect with more of your friends and connect with more people that the message can reach. And Like when you leave the reviews in iTunes or like the comments on YouTube, that helps more people see it. It helps our tribe grow. It helps our community thrive so we can just like bless more people and connect more. And man, it just feels so good to be surrounded by people that have like similar interests at heart that want to grow and thrive together. So thank you so much for listening and for sharing and being a part of this community. And I would really love it if you messaged me and said like, I listened to this episode and here's some of my things that I do in my morning routine, or here's something I'm going to start adding because I heard you do this and I'm going to add it now, and I'd love to hear how that's going for you. Or if you have some amazing things that you do in the morning that you think that I could add, I would love to. I'm always looking for ways to up-level my routine, so I'd love to hear that from you as well. But anyway, I'm going to go break my fast. I'm going to probably have a bunch more content coming out soon because I'm just feeling so inspired. Like, I've been writing a bunch of songs. I've been releasing a bunch of beats. I've been working on my online beat selling course. I've been really expanding my coaching business. I've been making a lot of YouTube videos. Like, man, I'm just so stoked on life right now. Inspiration and creativity is oozing through me, and it's not going to stop anytime soon. So make sure to stick around. Make sure if you're not following me on Instagram to go follow me at Burnell Washburn. Shoot me a DM. Let me know you listen to this. Drop a comment so I can, connect with all the kindred spirits. And make sure you subscribe to the podcast if you haven't already. So I love you from the bottom of my heart, for real. Thank you for listening. Thank you for sharing this time with me. Like, this means more than you could imagine. Like, if you're listening this far in, that means you just invested like almost an hour of your life and you can never get that back. So I hope sincerely that this hour will be more than worthwhile and that you will be infinitely grateful that you took this hour to invest in yourself, really. And this hour will help you improve your life. Like, so many hours of listening to podcasts have improved mine. So thank you for listening. I love you. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. And we'll see you on the next episode for 15-Minute Friday later this week. Bless up.